In this video, I'm going to prove to you with historical evidence as to why we are about to enter a creative renaissance, an online creative renaissance that we have never seen before, and I want you and I am begging you to take advantage of it. So I think most people would agree with me when I say that we're kind of, especially as younger generations, Gen Z or younger, we're kind of going through it right now, and we're going through a little bit of a crisis. There's AI, there's talking Tesla cars, politics suck, no one agrees with anyone, everyone hates each other, there's no jobs anywhere, so everyone's can't buy freaking groceries. Like, it's a mess, and everyone's confused, everyone's scared, everyone's anxious, mental health is bad, social media is like killing us, and our phones are sucking the souls out of us slowly but surely. And that's not what we want. We want to feel hopeful, and we want to feel, inspired, and like there's a dream out there, and that we can pursue our creative wants and wills and ways, but we can't because things suck right now, and it sucks, and I'm sorry, and I'm gonna sit with you and just admit that it sucks. So why am I so hopeful that we're about to enter a creative renaissance? And there's a couple of people who've kind of slowly been talking about this, and after I just finished my art history class, I feel really full of myself, and I started to realize and analyze these same things myself in real life as to why we're actually about to do this thing. So in order to prove to you that this is about to happen, I want to show you some history. Firstly, what is Renaissance? What does that mean? And these are going to be the main characteristics in this video that we're going to use to identify it. It is usually a revival of older ideas. It's an explosion of creativity, but also just innovation in general. It doesn't just have to be the arts specifically. It's the arts, the sciences, the humanities in general. And with these characteristics, we can better understand the pattern that happens in these eras of the Renaissance that has happened in the past. Because there are more Renaissances that have happened besides just the one that we all know and love. Sorry, Leonardo, there's other people in history. So the 4 stages that make up what a Renaissance actually is are this. There's crisis or stagnation in the beginning. This is what starts it off. Then we take ideas from older knowledge or previously ignored knowledge. 3, we amplify it with new technology, whatever's available to us at the time, whatever new thoughts, whatever new evolutions we've come across. And finally, number 4 is the transformation. So I'm going to be taking 3 other Renaissances that have actually happened, they've already happened, been there, done that, and I'm going to apply these 4 stages to those ones so you can see that this is how it works. And note, most of these 4 stages usually happen when the era is about to begin. These are the 4 things that lead up to when all of the art gets created, when all this stuff gets written, okay? So this is usually right here at the front, these 4 stages at the front, and then the rest of the Renaissance here, okay? So we're going to be working with these Renaissances in order from oldest to newest. First one being the medieval Renaissance. So, medieval Renaissance, what kind of crisis were they facing? What stagnation, which is number 1 of our 4-step Renaissance phase thing. Europe just fell from the Western Roman Empire at this point. It experienced political fragmentation, economic decline, and it kind of lost all of its central education because all of that was coming from the Western Roman Empire. A lot of cities were shrinking and a lot of knowledge was being lost. This caused a lot of people to want to do something, especially kingdoms and churches and stuff, because it's hard to govern a growing population of people that don't know what's going on. Which brings us to stage 2. We take ideas from the past, either old knowledge or ignored knowledge. So scholars from the medieval Renaissance revived some classic Roman law and education methods, specifically standardized education models. This was often done through contact with the Islamic world. And these ideas re-entered the Western Europe society through places like Spain and Sicily and stuff. Okay, medieval Renaissance is now ramping it up with their technology. Stage 3 or phase 3 of this Renaissance thing. The old ideas are now being implemented with the new technology, okay? Stay with me now. There were a lot newer technologies at this time, like water mills, heavy plows, there's new ways to copy manuscripts. The medieval times didn't have a lot going for it, okay? But with these technologies, they were able to build schools faster. And then using the older Roman education models, they were building a lot more schools and making a more standardized education model. So then the transformation, phase 4 of a Renaissance in medieval times, with the rise of universities, standardized education, stronger governments, and intellectual unity. This period really laid down a lot of groundwork for eventually what would become the Italian Renaissance itself. Example 2, the Italian Renaissance. Phase 1, crisis. The Italian Renaissance happens just after the Black Death. So we all know that sucked. I don't have to explain that one. These disasters kind of undermined the medieval values and just the church's authority in general. So a lot of people were like, what do I do with myself now that the church doesn't tell me how to live and that I give all my potatoes to the church and I have all my babies for the church? What do I do with my life now? And it was just weird. So that brings us to stage 2, taking ideas from the older generation that we ignored. The Italian Renaissance people loved the classical Roman law, philosophy, ancient Greek, ancient Rome, architecture, art, philosophies, you name it. They loved it. And they took all those and were like, we're gonna copy these, essentially, and we're gonna make everything look like it was made in ancient Rome now. Which brings us to stage 3 of the Italian Renaissance, which is the implementation of new technologies. The biggest one being the printing press. My goodness, this was a big step for humanity. There was also huge advancements in perspective, anatomy, so that leaves us with the 4th stage in the Italian Renaissance, which is transformation. And people started to feel like they were humans capable of their own destinies and their own happiness and pursuits. The 3rd example for today, modern age Renaissance, or the Renaissance of the 20th century. Phase 1 again, modern Renaissance crisis. World War I. World War II, Great Depression. This might have been the biggest heavy hitter of all the crises so far. Traditional social structures were falling through. People were feeling like, what the heck is going on? Moral frameworks were out the window. No one knows what's going on anymore. So what do? They go to phase 2 of a Renaissance, which is going back to the older, you know what's going on. Now you're getting the picture now, okay? I know you know what I know, okay? These modern thinkers, creatives, whatever, were taking older philosophies, older traditions, non-Western knowledge for the first time, and also earlier scientific theories were now being challenged as opposed to just being blindly accepted as they were. Then we took that older knowledge and we implemented new technology, which was a lot. A lot happened for technology in the last couple centuries. Holy crap. Radios, film, photography, computers, the internet, tanks, airplanes. I mean, we're working with things we haven't seen before ever. This is insane, and it all happened so close together. So what happens when you take all this technology beyond human comprehension, and then you take all this old knowledge of a better world, of a more romantic world, and you combine those together? You got the 20th century Renaissance, and it's freaking awesome. But what does this mean for us now? How are we getting into a Renaissance now? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take what we just did 3 times in a row, and I'm going to show you what is happening right now. Okay, now that we've practiced seeing these patterns and phases of a Renaissance in the past, let's focus on how these are revealed in the present. Number 1, the crisis. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, AI, politics. You know what I'm talking about. You see it in your everyday life. Why there's a crisis happening. Stage 2, taking from older ideas. I mentioned curation at the beginning of this video, and that you might have heard it so far from your feed or something. And that's because a lot of people are talking about it. Let me show you how disgusting I am and how performative I am. I just fixed up my old iPod that my dad gave me. And I just fixed it up, and I'm trying to use it again so that I'm not on Spotify, so I'm on my phone less. I just deleted Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, which I know a lot of other young people are doing, because I'm so tired of being on my phone all the time. More and more I am seeing on the internet people my age wanting to go back to an analog life. Some of it we never really knew, but we long for. We're so tired of this algorithm all the time. So we're going back to the older ideas or ignored knowledge. Stage 3, the new technology. I think it's pretty obvious. We have social media, we have internet, but it's a completely different internet than early internet. But there's also really new cool mediums like core videos and AMVs. There's new interesting things that we haven't had the chance to play with before as artistic, creative people. And then, finally, taking all that with the old ideas and being tired from the crisis, it gets step 4, which is transformation. The renaissance that I talked about. This whole video is about this upcoming renaissance. Now, what is in this transformation? I don't know. It hasn't happened yet, but that's kind of what this video is about. I'm making this because I'm hoping somebody will watch this and realize that it's not all lost. Yeah, it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm sure that is how people in medieval times felt when the Roman Empire fell. I'm sure that's how people felt after the Black Plague was done running through Europe. And I'm sure that's how people felt after the end of World War I, II, and the Great Depression. What I'm saying is that all hope is not lost. I don't just believe that because I had this little tingle, warm feeling in my heart. I believe that because history repeats itself. And I just showed you 3 examples of how that happened previously. And there's plenty of other renaissances I haven't talked about. Transformation periods that I kind of glanced over because I figured after 3 you would probably get the point. But people are tired. People don't want to see AI stuff anymore. People want something that's real, that's meaningful. They want social interactions that are real and meaningful, even if we're all too anxious to go out and get them, or we don't know how to do that. And I don't know how we're going to do it. I honestly don't. That's not really what this video is about. This video is about showing you that it's about to happen. And that we shouldn't just be, counting down the days till the nuke drops and we're all dead in 5 years, I think there's a lot more going for us than that. And I feel pretty hopeful for our future. I think it's going to be exciting. And I'm not going to lie, I'm still scared myself. I sometimes don't even believe what I'm saying when I say that things are going to turn out for the better. But I can trust in the fact that history does repeat itself. That society and the world in general, no matter how big, how vast it gets, it all fundamentally repeats itself over and over again. For the past couple years, if you're Gen Z, younger, you've probably felt like we're just going down and down and down. But I promise you, there's literally this up that is about to happen, and it's about to be so great. And so get on it now. Make that thing you've been wanting to make. Pursue your passions, pursue your goals, innovate, try to figure out how you can do it better despite all the obstacles and risks. Maybe even start a YouTube channel like I am, because this is my first video. So if you've gotten to the end of this video, I hope you like it. I hope I wasn't too awkward for you, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something from this, and I hope you just feel a little hopeful. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Sorry if this ended abruptly. I don't know how to do this yet, so thank you for watching.